We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast. Oops, it's not for young women. I know the men on this would like that, but nope, it's for the young men. Let's get the young men here. Um, any of you thinking what I'm thinking right now?
Depends on what you're thinking.
Yeah, no, you guys aren't. There's a way that we could help Luke immensely. And so, Nora, what you got today?
Okay, so with everything that happened yesterday, it's fascinating. The attorney was telling me like what kids want or need in, you know, divorced parents and whatnot. So she said that they need routine, consistency, and just having fun. So, do you have any thoughts on how I can like provide that for Lincoln?
So, having fun, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
You tracking that or not?
Yeah.
Because you're just a fun mom. You're one of those moms that's just fun. So that's not a problem. And even if you weren't, Lincoln's such that he's going to have fun. That third piece, if there's three pieces, the third piece is actually an enemy to the first two pieces. And um, so the Bible says, fathers, provoke your children not to wrath. Don't provoke your children to wrath. Why does it tell fathers to do that? Men, don't do that, and not mothers.
Because fathers are more likely to do that than mothers.
But fathers are more likely. It's not 100%, but they're more likely. Why?
They're not connected as much into the emotional.
In part, yep, or why else?
They may enjoy it,
They enjoy what?
provoking their children to wrath.
Jeepers. I had never thought of that before. That's an interesting concept. Okay, I'm not going to say no to that. Some fathers might. Why else?
Mothers tend to be natural nurturers, so I don't know if that has anything to do
For
with it.
sure, for sure. Why else? Men are going to typically be 75% of men are going to be driver analytic, and that's task orientation. So they're focused on this. I know a number of fathers who are going to be expressive, amiables, and their wives really struggle a lot because they don't want to discipline. They don't want to discipline the child. So somebody's got to discipline the mother or the child. Somebody's got to discipline the child. And so if the dad doesn't do it, the mom. So the mom often gets stuck with doing that. And she hates that like nobody's business. And so often the man is like that because that's how their father was. So they were trained and modeled that. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why that's the case. They're not all wrong. It's not all bad. Um, a woman is going to tend to give too much room to the children and to the husband and the men around them. And so it's just fascinating to me on how women complain about their husbands. and then they enable their husbands to be goofballs. And they start this off as friends when they're friends. And then and then it gets more when they're, when they're dating, and it gets more when they're engaged. And then when they get married, then they live with the friendship and the other because they're always protecting the man. They're making excuses for him throughout the process. And then even when they get married, they still make excuses for him until they don't. And so the women are part of the problem, a big part of the problem. So the men love to be babied. Men love to be coddled and babied, and they love to feel good. Women love to make men feel good. Everybody's feeling good. Nothing's getting done. Why does this really, and I won't use the word, ticked off. I won't use another word because don't want to go ahead and be too hard. Don't want to be too tough. So can't do that. Like, why does that really tick me off?
Because the men aren't supposed to be coddled.
No, why does it tick me off? Mark Boersma. Why is Mark Boersma ticked off?
Oh, because you didn't get coddled?
Okay.
It's like
And
this happens to everybody else, but it never happens to you.
Oh, I see. You thought I was a victim. You thought I was a victim. You thought, oh, is me? I didn't get me coddled. Why does everybody else? No, that's not. No.
Oh, okay.
No, not even. No. This
So
here.
why does it tick you off?
I got to clean up after them because they have their HUAs that become a POS that then become an FOS. And then I got to go ahead and clean up the whole thing. And I haven't learned how to make money, but I'm starting to go ahead and get there. It's just crazy. As a business owner, you go ahead and as a business owner, you get all of this. You get the whole FOS, and the FOS is spreading like wildfire. And you're like, does nobody know how to work anymore? Does nobody know how to discipline? I mean, you get the sniffles and you don't come in. It's like, are you kidding? So I get to clean up all of it. And then all of the other three, they get all the benefits from me. And I'm the bad guy, which I don't know that I really care because my life vision isn't, I think people's life vision, what's your life vision? As an amiable, it's to be liked by everybody. Everybody thinks the world of me except my wife. Like, yeah, no, I don't care about her. Like, no, it's fine. It doesn't matter what she thinks. As long as everybody else, because I actually have to work for. And so the expressive, I just want to have fun. And so my life vision is to have fun. The analytic, my life vision is to go ahead and look smart in front of other people. So I don't know. I just sit back and I feel so bad for young men. They have no confidence. And I feel so bad for the young women that have young men and old men that don't go ahead and have confidence. And it's terrible for the woman, but she propagates it. She makes it worse because she'll soften up the blow. It's unbelievable. And wives do this, mothers do this. I mean, like, I don't know who's the problem. I mean, if women are in control, then women are the problem. If men are in control, then men are the problem. It's just, I get to clean up all of this stuff. It's not victim. It's just like, really, like, sheepers. Nice, Nora. Thanks for triggering. Does that, I mean, so how do you do it, Nora? It's hard. It's hard. Like, it's hard for, and you got, so there's the father in this situation, and he's just going to be the one that plays. He's going to be the fun father. And his son is going to grow up to resent him and think he's a dirtbag. Like, he's not, but you get to deal with this other stuff. And so I don't know, I guess you give more permission. You give permission to strong men. Although, people like Jill, like my mom, there's women out there that'll bring the heat on, but he's a little charmer. And so it's hard for women not to smile and laugh. Like when he starts doing his antics, I just look at him stone fast. Like I'm not going to give him any positive motivate. I'm not going to smile. Like he's not obeying. He's disrupting. He's hitting his mom. He's not doing this. He's doing disrespect. Like you don't get any. And his motivation is all about energy. It's all about energy, and he gets energy from other people, and he gives energy to other people. So like the thing on Sunday, you let me take him out. So he learned to be quiet in church. Now we were walking around, pointing things, doing other types of things. So you allow other people who care about him and care about you to step in, and you encourage them. You can be harder on him if you want to be. So they're going to go ahead. They're going to have a hard time being hard on him because their experience with women is that when you're hard on their kids, it's really hard for the woman. So you encourage people, you can be harder on my son. If you want to be harder on my son, you can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, Mary, what you got? Luke, what you got?
I don't think I have anything.
So, does anybody have any suggestions for Luke?
Oh, you mentioned something earlier. How can we help Luke?
So, Luke is expressive, so he likes attention. He feeds on attention. So he's got similarities to Kenny and to Lincoln. What Luke hasn't learned how to do, he asked a few weeks ago about how he could enjoy kids more. If you learn to get in flow with kids, you'll get more attention, Luke.
Gotcha.
So now they also don't think about in the future. So I don't need any details, right? I don't need to know. But Luke did not plan as well as he should have, I'm guessing. And that's why he had to step out during the first part, not realizing, hey, that first part, because he didn't anticipate the future, because the expressive lives in the moment. And so there's little things. And these little things grow into big things. So often with a thief or a liar, you're not going to catch a thief or a liar in a big theft or a big lie. A thief or a liar, you're going to catch them in the little thieving or the little lying. Why?
Because they get sloppy.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so that goes back to what Nora was talking about. Like she's got this oak tree that's 3 years old. And as this oak tree gets larger, and as this oak tree gets larger, the roots get deeper and it gets harder and harder to change. And so yeah, I could go so many places with that. But Kenny, what you got?
Well, Nora's thing just put things in perspective, so I think I'm good.
So Kenny likes to tease me. I don't know what it is. Why? Like Luke used to be the one that like he'd get the crap beat out of him by me. But Kenny, Kenny, he's gonna slide into Luke's role. My 7 kids, they'd always say, Dad, we liked when Jonathan was misbehaving. Is that all your focus would go on him? Rosanna would get the fun kids, the good kids, the kids that are behaving. I would get the bad kids. I'd get to deal with all of that stuff. And so Kenny's sliding in to where he's sliding into role, to Luke's role. And what's fascinating is, all the women will protect Kenny. But that's no longer the case anymore. I mean, it is the case, but just like with women, it's funny with women because women will go ahead and they think they have power in more women. So they think if there's 3 women that come against you, it's more powerful than one. And that is true for most men. Because most men are wusses. But true men, more women doesn't go ahead and create a bigger threat. It creates a bigger opportunity. A much bigger opportunity. Because you can take them all out. Because you don't have to hold back because there's 3 of them or 30 of them or 3,000 of them. Now you can take them all out with one full swelp because you're not looking at being right. And it's not anything to do with ego. It has to do with truth. Seeking the truth. Now, what's really cool is I got a lot of men in my life that they actually think they're women. It's fascinating to me. It's just absolutely fascinating to me. They think they're women. Like in Ford versus Ferrari, he's riding around. It thinks it's a plane. It's going to take off. Like it's a car. It's not a plane. Men who think they're women, and what they do is they learn how to seduce women, and they go ahead and get all the women on their side and protecting them. And that's even more fascinating because now I just treat the men like the women and punch them all together, put them all together and say, you know what? You're all goofballs. Kenny went ahead and said this last week. I don't know what to do with you when you get like, right? I get it. Sometimes, like Solomon says, that wisdom is such a burden. Other people don't get that. Anybody else have anything else?
Yes. So, Mark, you were saying, and I'm not disagreeing,
Nice.
that sometimes as women's fault that we have weak men.
No,
not weak men, but
I didn't say fault. I
okay.
didn't use the word fault.
No, you didn't use the word fault.
Nope. Yep.
So how does it look for us women to change that in us? Can we do that, or is it in our DNA and it's
Well,
just
you can be aware of it. You have natural propensities, and so you can be aware of it. And so, Nora, as a pilot, she can help us. Kenny's looking at going into law enforcement so he can help us. You guys aren't the most curious people in the world, and I get that. And so,
How can they help us?
because as a pilot, you're trained to do things that are counterintuitive. They're not natural. As a police officer, the same thing is true. So the same thing is true as a police officer. When somebody's shooting at you, your natural inclination is to go ahead and run. But that's not what police officers, I mean, some do. Most do not, though. Most do not. Most are trained to do the opposite. In an airplane, if you run into an emergency, your natural response is to react. And your natural reaction can actually go ahead and cause what you fear happening to happen. So, Mary, women need to be aware of these propensities, and then they need to pause. Like Nora, you have a discipline that you have where you have your natural propensity. Can you explain that?
Yeah, most of the time, like when someone says something or something happens, your natural, like the way you naturally want to react, most of the time, if you do opposite of that, it will actually turn out way better than if you just take the initial reaction. So I tend to a lot of times I tend to react opposite of what my natural instinct wants to, if that makes sense.
Questions on that for anybody? But Nora hasn't learned yet, not with everybody in her life, of course, but with some, that when they react the opposite of what she wants them to react, that they're actually doing it out of love and compassion and helping her. She hasn't learned that level yet, but that's the next level that hopefully she'll learn. Hopefully she won't get stuck. Hopefully she won't plateau for very long. Like, hopefully. Does that help, Mary, or not so much?
Yeah, I think I'm connecting the dots. Yep.
So if you go ahead, see, this is what people can't figure out about me is that most people, what they do is they've learned to manipulate everybody around them. And so they manipulate people and they get away with it. But with me, the opposite happens when somebody, almost always, the opposite happens when somebody tries to manipulate me. I give them the opposite of what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mary, if you're crying, hypothetically, and I laugh about that, what's going to be your natural response?
I'll get upset with you.
Right. And so you're going to get upset with me about doing that. You won't naturally think he's actually doing it as a great gift to me.
Right.
But if you went ahead and really understood what all was going on, that's a wonderful gift.
Gotcha. Right.
Really? Really? Nobody's going to ask? Nobody? Really? Really, Mark? Like, how is that a wonderful gift? If a woman's crying and you laugh and you seek to get her to laugh, even maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, why is that a wonderful gift to a woman?
Depends on the woman.
No, it actually doesn't, Nora. It doesn't.
I mean, you could get punched too.
Well, I do. That happens quite a bit, but
But would it happen? Like, would they actually be mad, or would they have to laugh afterward?
well, they'll get mad and then they'll go ahead and connect dots. And then they'll go ahead and try to train you not to do that in the future. Interesting, Mark. Interesting. Huh.
So why is that a wonderful gift for a woman if you laugh when she's crying?
Because there's a high statistical probability, Mary, that she caused her own tears. She didn't learn from the past situation. She's being a silly girl. She's being a silly girl. She's done the same stupid thing over and over again. And you gotta laugh because it's like you're just a silly girl. You think you're a woman, you're not. You're a silly little girl. So you gotta laugh. You just laugh because it's just silly. So if you want to go ahead and feel the pain, do the same stupid decision that you've made in the past. You know what? I guess you could go ahead and just not care. Or you could go ahead and pretend and go, oh, I'm so sorry. And can I give you a hug? But a true man, somebody who has a heart of a father. See, if you don't have a heart of a father, then if somebody hurts themselves and it doesn't impact you, well, you don't care because you're selfish and self-centered and self-absorbed because you don't understand love. You just don't understand. It's okay though, because you haven't faced that in life where somebody that you actually cared for, you didn't pretend, you're not a goofball, where even if it doesn't hurt you or impact you, you still hurt for that person because it hurt them. Like, it's mind-blowing to me on how women don't understand it, but they don't. Because they're so selfish and self-centered and self-absorbed, they don't understand it. And men are no better. But men, you expect it. Like, they're clueless. Like, men will just laugh about it. So men will just laugh about that and go, yeah, I'm clueless. Ha, 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 ha. Women will, yeah, men are clueless. Well, at least so they at least knowledge. Women, they're as dumber. And they don't realize, and nobody will tell them because other women don't even know this. Now, again, for boys, that think they're men, I wouldn't try this if I were you at home. Like, how they go ahead and say in sports, or extreme sports, don't do these things at home. Man, if I were you, I wouldn't do this type of thing until you're at least 40 and you got to have a wife of 20 years and then you have 4 daughters. Once you get to that level, then you can go ahead and then you can approach it. But Nora's right. You'll get hit. You'll get hit. But, I mean, are you afraid of being hit by a woman? That reveals something. So this group is going to, I have a feeling this group is going to go ahead and get a lot more exciting than what it is because, the Life GPS, we're going to figure out how to do an assessment of men and find out where their, emotional intelligence is and then bring it in and teach them like get at that level. Like I showed something to Alvin yesterday from the Financial Freedom book. Oh my goodness. He just started laughing. But other people, they all responded in a very different way than Alvin did. Like Alvin's just laughing. He's cracking up. He thinks it's funny. But everybody else is like, you gotta be soft and gentle with people. Okay, why? Well, so you can make money off of them. Okay, so you're going to have a whole group of people. You're going to have a whole group of people that are weak and fragile. Copy that. And it's fine. It's just, I hope you guys can feel the energy as much as I can because this group is going to go places. Always remember we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.